Hello there, and welcome back to the next episode of Overcome Yourself, the podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole, and I'm very excited to be here today with Kerry. And Kerry is a fabulous, oh my gosh, she's got an amazing story. She's a world traveler. She's reinvented herself. I'm going to let her take it away so I do not butcher her story. So go ahead, Kerry, and please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are and who you help.
Right. Welcome, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me on your show. As you said, my name is Kerry Damiano. I am Ms. World Traveler. Something that really have started late in life. I started it in my 60s, but I didn't start traveling in my 60s. I started back, my first overseas trip was as a college graduation present. So I've been doing this for a long time. And that's how I got to 130 plus countries, because it's been doing it for, many, many years, and a lot of it by myself. So I love to talk to women about their journey and overcoming any fears that they might have about traveling by themselves, because I've been there, I've done it, I know how freeing it is, and I enjoy inspiring others.
I love that. So tell us about your journey and how you've arrived at what you do now, because I know you're also involved in pageants.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Well, I started in pageantry in 1981. So I've been doing it a long time. And probably more so the last 20 years, I've been really, really involved. And it's one of those things that once you try it, you get addicted to the sisterhood, and it's hard to give it up. So I've stayed involved, and I just love working with young women and helping them really find themselves and sort of become who they were always meant to be. That gives me great joy. So that's part of my journey. But my journey to get to Ms. World Traveler, there is a bit of a pageant element to that. The title, you can see I'm wearing a banner here. It's an ode to my years, decades really in the pageant industry, but it's not a pageant. It really is just a show where we try and inspire women to travel and then to shop local. So we feature women artists, designers, entrepreneurs, and really try to promote them, promote their business. And that way they promote us, we promote them. And isn't that what the sisterhood is, right?
Yes, that is amazing. And I love it. So what is it that your sash says?
It says Ms. World Traveler.
Love it. Oh my gosh, that is fantastic.
It's a marketing tool.
Yes. No, but I love it. Like it makes so much sense. Just like I've got my Overcome Yourself shirts, right? That I made.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
And you definitely stand out, especially I can imagine at in-person events, you walking around with your sash and everybody's like, who
That's
is that and
right.
why is she wearing that? I want to know who
That's
she is.
right. We'll always end up getting a couple of followers. People that see us on the street. We're out filming and talking to people, and people say, who are you and what is this? And then it's just an opportunity to tell them. Word of mouth. That is, it's still a good way to spread your message.
I love that. What a great lesson in branding, like in real life. Like this is,
Exactly.
like that's how it works, right? All right. So, can you mentioned that you traveled solo. You mentioned overcoming fears. So can we dive a little bit into that and talk a little bit about
Yes.
what that is and what that means?
Right, right. Well, Nicole, what I hear women say to me is when I say I travel by myself, they say, "Aren't you afraid?" Or, so how can I afford that to do it by myself? Or, well, won't you be lonely? They have these fears. And I always say, if you can identify what your fear is, if it's okay, I think I'll be lonely. So let's talk about ways to find people, to find groups, to do things that will help you not feel like you're alone, but still give you that independence. Because really, once you do it by yourself, then you realize I can do this. I can conquer. And it gives you confidence, not only in that, but really it translates to other areas of your life.
Absolutely. Like building a business, right? Like building a podcast.
It's the same fears, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
those things run around in our heads. What if I don't know what I'm doing? What if I can't do it? What if I run out of money? I mean, all of these things, these questions that stop us in our tracks. It just happens that I talk about travel as sort of a vehicle to get over those fears, but it's, as you said, it's within business. It's leaving your job to start your own business. All of those kind of things that it's the same fears.
I love that. And traveling is a way to conquer some of those fears, just exactly like you said, and be like, oh, okay, so I can do things that are a little bit scary. And it wasn't so scary on the other side. Um,
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
that makes so much sense. So what tips do you have for us if we decide that we want to travel, or even alone, if we want to travel alone, what are some of the best tips that you have for us and overcoming those
Well,
fears?
sure. I would say the first thing is to take a baby step, like go on a weekend trip, maybe even not that far from home, just to see, can I entertain myself? Do I like my own company well enough? Do I find enough to do? How do I like the process of it? And then once you do that, okay, that was great. I can do it. Now go a little further, go a little longer, so start with a baby step. Another baby step is to go somewhere and join a group. So, okay, you've gone by yourself, but you have that sense of, I'm not there by myself. And most groups have sort of built in flexibility of time, meaning you can be with them as much or as little as you want. And then you have the ability to gauge. Okay, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go off and do this excursion by myself. But then when I come back, I've also got the group.
Can you give us an example of traveling in a group by yourself?
Mhm, mhm. Well, there are many different kinds of group travel. There's adventure, like for example, there's horseback riding trips where okay, you go by yourself, you have your own room or your own tent or whatever, but you're with a group and somebody has set up all of the details. So if you're not a
Yeah.
person who likes to do all of the planning yourself, those are very good that somebody has done all of the planning for you. And that's kind of baby step two, because it's overwhelming when you think of all the planning that goes into that kind of a trip. Like for example, I just went to a few months ago, I went on quote vacation, even though I was working, but it was vacation to Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. It's 5 countries. The amount of work to line all of that up, the guides, the transfers, the hotels, the tours, all of those things. I mean, it was like full-time work.
Yes.
All of it. So it's a bit daunting. And so maybe as a baby step, you try a group that it's all laid out. You're on here, this day you're going to do that. And on this day you're going to do that. And with some free time built in, so you can do some of your own thing, but it takes sort of all of that extra stress of doing all the planning.
I love that. Um, and I love how that mirrors too for us as business owners, not going it alone. We're on our
Yes.
own, we're building our own business, but surrounding ourselves with other people who
Mhm.
are also looking for the same kinds of adventures, and we can
Yes,
learn from each
exactly.
other. Yes,
Right.
and we can share stories, and we can learn to
Yes.
appreciate ourselves just a little bit more because we get to learn new things that we don't get to learn when we're stuck in our routines, right?
That's right. And you're already starting with something in common. So who knows, you make lifelong friends from doing this because you both know that you're interested in this common thing. And then, well, let's do it again. Let's go on, take another trip and go someplace else and we'll meet there.
I love that. I love that so much. And it makes me think of like retreats. I want to host retreats. And that's kind of what you're talking about, where I will plan everything out for you. So all you got to do is show up and have fun.
Yes. Right. Love that. Love it. And then I think it's just so much less scary for people to
Yeah.
say, I'm going by myself, but I'm not going to be by myself.
Oh, I love that. And same with having like a mastermind in your business, right? And joining
Mhm.
a group of like-minded people who they're building their businesses. And exactly what we talked about, with going on vacation. You get to go on this adventure together. You get to learn from each other, support each other. I love that so much.
Yes.
Now, talk to me about the opportunity that comes in failure, because I'm sure that in all of these things that you're done, it hasn't all been sunshine and roses. Like you mentioned, it can get complicated. So
Yeah,
can you tell
there's
me
no such
about,
thing, right?
right?
as, as a whole life lived with no, mistakes made along the way. So here's an example because I just got back less than a week ago from a month in Barcelona. And it was work. I was there as Ms. World Traveler collecting content. One of the places I went was Ibiza. I'd always wanted to go to Ibiza. It's this beautiful resort island in the Mediterranean. And okay, it's March time frame. I get there, everything's closed. Okay, I'm thinking, I thought it was a resort town that there would be things going on all year, but it wasn't the season. Things kind of close down for the winter and then they get going more like after Easter. So that was a mistake. Even though I do a ton of research before I go, it wasn't obvious that there weren't going to be things open while I was there. So I write about that in my show. I say, learn from my mistake and watch that particular things. But that's just an example of, it wasn't really a failure per se, but it was a learning opportunity, that I made the mistake so that you don't have to.
I love that. And I love how you use that for content. So even though it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, you not only got to learn that lesson, you got to share that lesson with others. And so that they can make sure that they go at the right time to participate in the things that they want to. I remember
And
hearing
isn't
about
that
that.
what we should always be doing? I mean,
Yes.
as we go through these things, we learn, we pass it on. Sometimes it's to the generation behind us, sometimes it's to our colleagues, but every lesson is learned is an opportunity to help somebody else.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I remember I was going to say hearing those stories, as a little kid about how in Spain and there's a lot of places in Europe where things kind of there's like a siesta in the middle of the day. There's just a
Yes.
relaxing time, but then there's
They
also
take
a
you
whole
seriously.
month. Yes. Before Easter where everything's just kind of everybody's resting. And I
Yes.
think that's so important. Tell me, what part does rest play? Speaking of rest, as a world traveler, can you talk to me about a little bit about rest and the importance of it, even when you're traveling to fun places?
Yes. I'm glad you brought this up, Nicole, because as I said, I just got back less than a week ago. And of course, you have some jet lag afterwards.
Mhm,
And on Saturday, so just a couple days ago, I hit the wall. I mean,
mhm.
I couldn't even move. I couldn't think straight. And I realized I hadn't had a day off since Christmas. And
Wow.
so what you're talking about rest, it just sort of hit me like a board in the face that I had not rested enough. And so sometimes you're forced into it. Sometimes you get sick, and then you're forced rest. But really we have to be more cognizant of that too. Work is fun. At least it is for me because I do what I love. And so I'm energized and I love to work and to do this. But there's also time when you have to go, let's just sit still for a moment. It's okay. You don't have to be doing something every single second. It's okay to rest.
And you are doing something when you're resting.
That's right.
So
Exactly.
right, your body needs time to do all the things it needs to do. So it does definitely count. I'm guilty of that
Yes.
too, right? Of just like going
Are
a million
you?
miles a minute. And if you're not, then
Mhm.
that inner voice is like, oh, you haven't gotten anything done. And it's like I've
Right.
been typing for 10 hours. What do you mean I haven't gotten anything done? I wrote a whole book. Yes. So I think that is so important, the importance of rest, even while you're having fun, right? Because traveling is
Yes,
fun, but it is also exhausting, just like
it is.
entrepreneurship.
That's right. They're both physically demanding, aren't they? And I think sometimes we forget that, right? Again, if you're doing something that you love and that energizes you, you don't realize the toll that it takes physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, really, in all ways. So, yes, rest, but also recognize that you don't have to be getting something done every single second. It's okay. It will be there tomorrow.
I love that so much. And I want to ask you about your business as a YouTuber. You get to
Yes.
travel, you get to do this stuff. What tips do you have for aspiring women who are like, oh my gosh, you can do that? You can make money traveling and making video and recording content? What does that mean?
Uh-huh. Well, I haven't done it to make money, so I'm not really the person to give advice from that, but there are a number of people who that is how they make their living. And I think that's very exciting that there is a technology available that allows us, especially as women, to be independent, to be financially independent, to do what we love, and make our own way, doing what you love. So I think it's an exciting time that there's just so much more opportunity to do what you love.
I love that. And that's even more important that you're doing it literally because you love it and it's not because
Yes.
anyone's sponsoring something. And so your reviews are
Yes,
going to be very authentic and you're just there for the
exactly.
truth.
Exactly.
I
Well,
love that.
part of what we do is really trying to promote other businesses. And the
Mhm.
idea is I promote them, they promote me. We all do this free for each other, so nobody has to pay for it, but it's helping each other, and then everybody grows. So that's I think kind of just a nice bonus, a side thing that we can do for each other. And the technology is there to do that.
And it's so true because that's what's happening right now with you and me, where we connected and we're going to promote each other to each other's audiences, and be like, look how
Exactly.
awesome Carrie is.
Look how awesome Nicole is.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're so right that I mean, when I was growing up, you couldn't do this. Like you and I wouldn't have been sitting here looking at each other,
Exactly.
having a
Exactly. This is newer
conversation.
technology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I wrote that in my book. Like when I was growing up, I remember the computers coming into our houses. I remember my grandfather like buying a computer and he had to get a desk because he had to have somewhere to put the computer. And it's like the big monitors. But I remember when there was no computers, and now the computer is like in our pocket or right in front of me. So
Love it.
it is amazing. And it's just fantastic. So talk to me about your YouTube channel because I know that you told me that's where your show is. Like that's where you want
Yes.
people to find you. So tell us a little bit about that and that journey.
Yes. We do a segment every week. We release, and sometimes they're like in a series. We just finished. Uh, Actually, we have one more, but my vacation series that's coming. We're going to finish that up. We had a most memorable series before that. We'll have a Barcelona series. So we kind of do, kind of film and then release over time, which is sort of what you do with podcasts too, right? But yeah, it's anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, so it's very digestible. It doesn't take a lot of time for people to listen to it. And one of the things that I really focus on is because there's so many people who are interested in and they have questions about travel, is I try and do something a little bit different, meaning we don't talk about where to eat, where to stay, activities, things like that. We focus a little bit more on fashion, style, design, antiques, just sort of feminine interest. Doesn't have to be feminine, but just a little bit different way of seeing the travel side of things. And part of that is because there's so many out there. Right? I mean, if you've ever looked, what are some travel logs I could look at? There are thousands. Where do you
Yes.
begin? So I wanted to, one, be different, and two, be something I'm interested in. And I figure if I'm interested in it, other women are going to be interested in it too.
Yeah, you can't be the only one, right? It's
Right.
like statistically impossible.
Yes. Yes.
I love that very much. And what is the channel? Can you let us know where we can find it?
Sure. Sure. It's on YouTube at Ms. MS World Traveler, Ms. World Traveler. And you can find us on Instagram as well. And that's Kerry Ms. World Traveler. And that's Kerry Ms. World Traveler, Kerry Ms. World Traveler.
Oh, I love that so much. Thanks for sharing. So, as
Welcome.
we're wrapping up here, oh, thank you. As we're wrapping up, I would love to know what is that big tip that you have? Like, what's the tip that gives your clients that big aha moment?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's an aha moment, but I always like to say that it's never too late to start something new. I didn't start this business till in my 60s, even though I've had my own business for over 20 years, but this particular part of the business, and I'm working harder than I've ever worked in my whole life, and I absolutely love it. So it's not too late to do something that you love, to do something that you're passionate about. It sort of re-energizes you, gives you your youth back, if there's such a thing, right? But it's never too late to start something new.
I love that. And you said one of the things I remember from the questionnaire was you said 60 is the new 30, right? Tell me about that.
We like to think so, right?
Yes. So tell me a little bit about that. What does that mean and what do we have to look forward to?
That means that don't put limitations on yourself because of your age. Do what you want to do, be who you are, be who you're still becoming, because we're still growing, we're still changing, we're still striving, we're still wanting to do more. We all have bucket lists, and just go out and do it. And again, I just will revert to it's never too late to try something new. So don't let the number, be something that holds you back.
I love that. You're alive. Make the most of it.
That's right. As long as you're breathing, right? There's something to be done.
Yes, absolutely. This has been fantastic, Carrie. Thank you so much. Do you have
Yeah.
any final words before we sign off here?
Oh, just thank you, Nicole. It was such a pleasure getting to know you a little bit and having a nice conversation with you. So I really appreciate that. I'm grateful.
Oh, I'm grateful for you too. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. And we will catch you guys next time on the next episode of Overcome Yourself, the podcast. Bye.